I love two things, video games and comic books, and today we're going to talk about comic books. Let's play. How's it going, audience? My name is Gentleman33. Welcome back to the wonderful world of PC games. Welcome back to Tower Fortress, or I guess, welcome to Tower Fortress. I never played this game on air, but we're gonna do it. And actually, this is gonna be an art venture episode, which is where I talk about my journey into being a professional comic book artist. Let's see. Supersonic? Ooh, let's unlock Shotgun. This is a game where you're trying to climb a tower. You have limited movement. You can't go back down once you've jumped a floor. And you collect gems. And those gems let you upgrade your suit, or basically use a different suit. So now I've unlocked the shotgun, which is pretty sweet. Okay. Whoa! Get out of here. That is awesome. So, if you're anywhere in the comic book world, you probably know a little bit about Incan Van Sciver, a humble Incan superhero merchant who works for DC. He is an excellent artist and an excellent person. I think that he noticed at some point, maybe in the last few months, that the comic book community, while amazing, has, several flaws in it. And one of those flaws is the way some of the creators act towards their fans. So, I want to talk about opera a little bit. I have a friend, he's a great guy, and he got me into opera. We'll call him Bennett. Bennett got me into opera, and I was, I've actually been on stage. I did ballet for 14 years, and I really love that world. But I don't really go to plays, mostly because I didn't really, seek them out. Being more of an electronic person, I've always pretty much been into video games as a kid, and art and digital stuff. But when I was doing ballet, I was a dancer, obviously, and I was in the Sacramento Ballet, and it was a great experience for me. The one thing I really loved about it was the music, which all relates back to opera. And he got me into opera, and it's interesting because if you check the people on social media who do opera, all these opera stars, they know that their medium isn't an easy one to get into. They know that you could be watching movies about superheroes. You could be playing video games where you're jumping up a tower and trying not to get killed by a giant skull face, / spider, / whatever the fuck that thing is. But they go out and they sing anyway, because they want fans. They want people to get into what they do. And so when they get on social media, they tend to be very tactful. They tend to tell you about the events they'll be going to. One of my favorite people in opera, her name is Joyce D. Donato. Hope I'm saying her name right. Almost all of her tweets, and I follow her, almost all of her tweets are just like, going to this school to teach opera to a class of, young kids, like going to a show, support a friend who also is in the biz. Dang it, I need to go down, but I can't go down, unfortunate. Her tweets all relate back to what she does, and in a beautiful way. That doesn't, I'm sure she gets trolled. I'm sure there are plenty of people who treat her in a nasty way, but she rolls with the punches. She knows that what she does is, in a way, a dying art, a beautiful art, but still maybe not the easiest thing to get into. It's not as easy as picking up your cell phone, looking at it, and going wherever you feel like digitally. Oh, I don't like this thing. The old spider boss. Anyway, my point is that she supports the people that are in her genre, but she also supports the fans, new and old, the people who know exactly what notes she's gonna hit in, you know, in the Barber of Seville if she decides to do that, or, you know, basically she can get new people into opera, but she can also respect those people who have been in opera and been watching for a long time. Comic book creators are not really the same, and it takes someone like Ethan, someone who's high on the food chain, to get new people in. And now that, I mean, I've been following him for months now, and now that, for months he's been doing this, he's been engaging fans, pulling new people in, showing them how to draw, showing them the behind the scenes of his comics, like how he wrote sex in an X-Men comic over and over and over, but it's hidden, and you gotta find it. You know, one of them is really blatant, and I actually remember going to that comic and going, did they mean to put sex right here? It was like an offense. And then when I watched the video where he put it all throughout the comic, I was like, it wasn't just in that one spot? What? Like, it surprised the crap out of me. I'm gonna get the enemy hitting you as damage. And it was very, very eye-opening. It was cool to see just how involved comic book creators really are. You know, you think that maybe they're just doing it for the paycheck, and maybe some of them are, right? You know, you get to create a world for these characters to live in, and that's got to be very, very satisfying. But I feel like a lot of them have become arrogant, and they forget, hey, people are buying your comics, people adore what you do and admire you. It sucks when you go to see your favorite creator's work and they don't like you because of your politics or because of, you know, a way you view the world. And so instead of getting the milk and honey of the industry, you end up getting piss and vinegar. You know, no one wants that. For instance, very recently on Twitter, a guy named Max, I think his name's Max Bemis, I don't really know how to spell it, so I don't really care. But he did an excellent Moon Knight comic very recently. And then he put on his Twitter, hey, you know, if you think there's going to be any SJW stuff in this, there isn't, but also, fuck you. Like, why? Why become so abrasive, like, and hostile just because someone has an outlook different than you? It's just kind of dumb. And yeah, I guess his thing is kind of to be the edgelord of comics, but it's also just being stupid. It's like saying, hey, thanks for reading what I wrote, now fuck you. You paid $4 for me to insult you. That's really messed up. Anyway, I just wanted to throw it out there that if you have fans for whatever you do, you should engage them, and you should love them for loving what you do. No one is obligated to. But when you have a fan, you shouldn't just throw them to the wayside, right? Like, what if they're trying to get into comics, and all they want to do is write in a way that you write, and, you know, you inspire them. You're gonna crush their hopes and dreams, man. And I'm not saying that everyone deserves the best treatment, yada blah 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 blah. But I am saying, man, give people a try, especially when they're your fans. Anyway, that's kind of why I started this hashtag about ComicRenaissance, because there are several people who are promoting engaging the fans, and comics don't really have a leg to stand on. Right now, comics are in a space where they're like on one foot, and they have crutches on either side of them that barely work, and they're hobbling along. Like, if you looked at the sales in the 80s and 90s, and you look to the sales now, especially because of, you know, digital being such a thing that people can turn to, comics are done. You know, comics aren't going to come back easily, so it would behoove creators, whether indie or, you know, the major companies, Marvel/DC. Though DC is much better about it. It would behoove you guys to just engage your fans, you know? Check them out. Say, hey, thanks for liking what I do. I know it's, whoa, what is going on here? That is a lot. That is a lot of Fireball. But anyway, Yeah, engage your fans, you know, let them know that you care. Heck, it's nice to get a, hey, thanks for that, you know? Anyway, I'm just a fan of these people, but I'm also a fan of the industry. I used to work at a comic shop, like 7 years ago, maybe 10 years ago by now. Dang, that's cool. And, you know, that sucked. In my time of working at my comic shop, I got to meet Ron Lim, because he literally... Oh, yeah. This boss is gonna suck. He literally... I kind of died in 2 places. But I met Ron Lim, and he was so engaging. He plays video games, and he cares about what people think about his art, but not so much that if you disagree with the way he draws an arm or a leg or a character in a certain way, he's gonna freak out, you know? And he was willing to draw in my sketchbook at one point, which I don't have that sketchbook anymore, because I'm dumb, and I didn't really appreciate at the time what I had. I just kind of had this job and was happy enough to just have a job. But looking back on it, I feel like he was so gracious, and all he wanted from me was to be a better artist and to make my art better. Maybe because I liked comics, and maybe because I just wanted to be a better figure artist at the time, because I was in community college at that point. But it was cool. It was like I had like a buddy in the industry, in a major industry that I've always thought maybe I could get into that. You know, it's like video games, comic books, all the like artistic stuff, photography, all those things I found really cool. And when someone from one of those industries says, hey, I'm willing to teach you something, you tend to go, okay, please teach me right away. But could you imagine if here's the way I like to think of it, because of the Mark Waid EVS interview. You know, Mark Waid had this great interview with Ethan Van Sciver, and it was very nice. I mean, Ethan was so gracious, and some controversy came out of it. But still, the interview, if you go check it out, you'll be like, wow, like he's very passionate about comics. You know, it says a lot about his character. Then, and actually, real quick, he told this story about how he was trying to get a job at Marvel, and he tried to tell a joke, and it didn't go over well, and the person gave him a kind of like answer like, well, you know, we'll call you. Cough, cough. Say no more, say no more. And I've been in that interview. I've felt humbled that way, and it sucks. It's like, you just want to make the person laugh, and maybe they'll give you just a chance, and then it doesn't happen, you know? It's just like, oh, what am I gonna do? And it was very insightful to know that people who are above me in an industry that I'd like to get into had hardships, you know? Anyway, so that interview was so nice and gracious, like I said, insightful. And then, tweets later, Mark Waid just gets super indignant and is like, oh, this interview created an imposter account of me, and it's like super obvious, like a super obvious imposter account. And so then he's like, so I've learned 2 things. Get the police to deal with this, and also never do a YouTube interview. And it's just like, so you're willing to just spit in the face of every single person who watched that interview and thought you were awesome. Cool. Love that. And the worst part was they mentioned all this Superman stuff, and I love Superman. He's one of my favorite heroes. He's a guy who has all the power, but just wants to help people anyway. He can get anything, and what he wants is to help other people, stay safe and be at peace. Like that's an awesome thing, right? So let's just imagine for a second Superman has social media and uses it all the time. Do you think after saving someone who was like a few people who were jaywalking, right, and they're gonna get hit by a car, and he saves them, do you think he'd get on his social media and be like, oh my god, had to use my super strength and my super speed to both stop a car and save people. That's ridiculous. I can't believe people are such idiots. Like, you really think Superman would get on Twitter and just badmouth the people he just saved? Like, even if they were totally in the wrong, which, you know, sometimes people are, they make mistakes, we're all human. Except for Superman, he's Kryptonian, but that's the point, right? Like, do you think he would just badmouth all the people that he's trying to save? And heck, do you think they would like him as much? You know? If he was like a more reluctant kind of a dick hero? Like, oh wow, I went down. That never happens. Anyway, the point is that, no, Superman wouldn't do that. You know, he's got coof. He's got some honor to him. And he's gracious to people who are less fortunate than him and don't, you know, move in super speed like he can, and you know, are very vulnerable to the world around them. He gets that, and it's kind of the same way, you know. Some of us are would-be artists, some of us are would-be writers, just trying to learn, trying to figure out what will work for us, and, you know, we're trying to get some insight and get inspired, and to have someone, like, mentor us and engage us as both fans, but maybe also as students, right? And instead, you know, you get, that was a bad situation, just like what I'm about to say, but instead, you get someone just telling you, oh, well, you're not worth it. You're a pixel on a screen. Oh, I died again. Poop. But yeah, you're a pixel on a screen. You're not worth it, you know. I mean, it just sucks, right? It's like the exact opposite. Anyway, that's my rant. That's my little rambling of what I'm talking about. So that's why I started the Comic Book Renaissance hashtag, because I want all of the tweets and the posts that have to do with Comic Book Renaissance to be anything where people have been engaging with the fans. And that's also fan to fan. You know, if you see something cool that someone else draws, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not as diversity in comics would say prime time worthy, give them, you know, an encouragement, because who knows, maybe one day they will make it, maybe one day they'll make it to the top, and you'll be a part of that, you'll be a part of what pushed them, and that's really cool. You know, I want to be that person who hands you my ElfQuest comic and tells you, hey, this is the first comic that really inspired me as an artist, you know. ElfQuest is so cool, and I don't know a lot of people who've read it, but it's one of the things that really got me into comics, because it's a story about growing up, and what do you do when your parents die, and what do you do when you fall in love for the first time, especially if there's a suitor going for the same person, you know. How do you react once you're the leader of the group, of the gang, of your family, whatever. These things are important to me, and it's like video games too. That's a whole nother rant for a whole nother day. But, did you good? Anyway. Alright, this is my last little run here. I got out what I needed to say, so now we're just gonna spinball it to the top like Sonic the Hedgehog. Except with a giant laser blaster, because, you know, we all need a giant laser blaster. Oh yeah, and thank you, EBS, Nerkish, Diversity in Comics, Captain Frugal, I Love Comics, Comicstorian, Comics Explained, Indie Comic Pop, I think, and anyone else who's really pushing comics and our community in a positive direction. Like, thank you so much for what you do. I am humbled. I haven't seen all of your work. I started with Comics Explained, but I soon found Diversity in Comics, and that pushed me into Comicstorian, and that eventually got EBS out there, and then from EBS I saw Nerkish, and from Nerkish I started to find Captain Frugal, and from Captain Frugal, you know what I mean, like, it's a whole little basket of wonderful, and I'm going to be a part of this group now. I will be one of the comic people promoting things that I love about comics, but this had to be said because, ow. I thought my rant was over. Stop shooting me. But it had to be said. You know, all those thank yous and everything had to be said, because without you guys, it's not that the comic industry, you know, is going to die immediately, but You guys are part of the reason it's hopefully gonna resurrect itself. Oh, and Marvel, get your act together, damn it! Please! Come on, guys! Chip Zdarsky, you're killing it right now. You were straight up killing it, by the way. Oh, and Ethan, if you ever watch this, if you ever listen to my voice, would you please just draw the Creeper already? And I'm not talking the Scooby-Doo Creeper, I'm talking the DC hero. Can we get that? I've been asking you for a while. I'm just saying. Just throwing it out there. Throwing a little shade, too. Okay? Because, you know, I've been waiting, and I want it. And, you know, so, there's that. There's that. Alright. Stop it, phone. I'm waxing poetic here. So, yeah. That's me. I'm gonna play this till I die now. We'll see how far I can get. See if I can get to the next stage or if I'm gonna die horribly. Whoa! That was both nifty, but it didn't get me. Ah! It didn't get me anywhere. I like this level because it kind of reminds me of Pac-Man. You can like, jump through both sides of the screen. It's pretty sweet. We might actually get pretty far now, just because, oh hey, I have the power to do so. That last hiccup was if I die, I get all my health back. So it's basically like I get to resurrect one time. Much like the comic book industry needs to resurrect it. Oh, look at all that stuff down there. I was throwing some shade again. Ow, quit that. Why you gotta run into me? It's not cool. I do feel like a little bit of like both Sonic and Samus are in this game all of a sudden. A lot of spinning, like the screw attack and the Sonic spinball, but also a lot of shooting like in Metroid or Mega Man. Also kind of contrary. Except you're jumping off the wall, so it kind of reminds me more of Metroid. Let's get this one. I probably should have prepared more to say, but I kind of said all I wanted to. Oh, say. No, I'm not really thinking. Come on. Shotgun's just better. But yeah, I kind of said what I wanted to say. Ooh. Got it all out for once. Anyway, in my next art venture, this one's kind of done. In my next art venture, we're going to talk about, art techniques. Again, I befriended. Oh, I died. Okay, so I got all my life back one time. I befriended this guy named. I'm so sorry if I messed your name up. Geraldo Gumanis. Maybe I'm probably saying that all funky. Not the Geraldo part, but just the Gumanis. His last name is very cool, but I didn't memorize how it was spelled, so I of course didn't know how to pronounce it. Like a fool. Anyway, his work is very line heavy and very cool in that regard. I don't like this boss. I really don't. Ow. This boss is pretty easy once you get the rhythm down. The rhythm and the rhyme. But you can't spinball into him because he makes a little energy shoot. Anyway. Geraldo's art is super cool. He's working on some Star Wars stuff right now, and before I was watching his Inktober, like looking over his Inktober artwork, and I asked him a couple questions. What kind of book he used to learn anatomy, and he gave me that. And then he said, but I think one of the coolest, probably one of the coolest tips I've ever got in art is, once you get hired to do something, once you're getting paid to do something, you just gotta go for it. And I thought that was pretty cool. Most people don't just say, hey, your artwork is you. You know what I mean? Like, your career is on the line. Get it going. You gotta push forward and do your best for these people. And yet. So it's cool to hear. Wow, you're doing surprisingly well. Although the game, I think, is slowing down a tiny bit. Maybe it's because my computer's running a couple other things in the background. Even though this game looks very simple. Probably is, it's just maybe I don't have a great Computron. My Computron is not working. coffee earlier, and it was trying to come up. Because I'm all nervous in front of the camera that no one can see me behind because I'm playing a video game. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about techniques and some of the books that I have. And spoiler alert, even though I have a lot of books, never really use them. So we'll talk about that and why, and some other stuff in Art Venture 4. I was really thinking this was going to be a shorter episode. This is going to be like a half hour, maybe just 20 minutes. It's hard for me to tell. Time is an illusion in video games. So, yeah. When it comes to being in them, when it comes to like playing and recording, oh, that's not. Time is kind of an illusion. Also, I hope the music isn't so loud that you can't hear me, because that's going to make me want to punch a baby. Not really. I wouldn't actually do that, but I would think of it. Be like, oh, you baby! Let's not touch the bottom of the screen. How about that? I don't even know what part of this game I'm going to draw. I might draw the intro screen. It looks really neat. Very cool. Alright, Vault 3 of 3. Okay, if I beat this boss, we'll just call it there. Because at this point I have little to say, and I want what I said earlier to stick in your brains. Plus, I mean, you kind of get the idea of Tower Fortress. You gotta climb, you don't want to die, there's a lot of obstacles and random crap trying to kill you. I think you pretty much get the gist of it. Oh, these gremlin dudes are pretty awesome. I'm not getting that gun. It's the double gun. It's definitely not as good as a shotty. Good old shotgun arm that I'm using. I don't like this room setup either. There are all these spikes and spinning death spikes coming from. You ever play a game or watch a movie, and while the hero is going through a place like this, you're just like, who built this? Because I'm having that moment right now. Like, who decided, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna make a tower full of traps and weird goblin creatures, especially this one with a drill on his head, and these guys with one eyeball that fly around being creepy-like. Although we are about to fight Robo-Plankton. Well, Plankton inside this castle. Anyway, look at this guy. Does this guy not look like Plankton from SpongeBob? Like a little bit, right? It's not just me. I'm not crazy. Ow. I'm not just crazy, right? I mean, I'm crazy, but for other reasons. This is actually going fairly well, audience. This is one of the most annoying bosses in the game. Shotgun suit was definitely the way to go. No. Doesn't mean I'm invincible. Doesn't mean I'm gonna kill him though. Maybe not. Chopping too much. Yes! Alright. And with that, audience, I must say, adieu!